very least we get the ball up pitch, provided we can get the throw off, which we do. And it's a good catch.
How did you make that?
He's gonna try to screen out screen out the Whining Beavers. Oh no! Does he have an apothecary? I don't think he has one. He's gonna spend it, and he's still dead. Oh my god! Oh no! Deccan's stare bag is dead! Dead! Oh my goodness! What is happening? Let's see if he can get away. He cannot. He's gonna have to do this. Oh. Welcome back. It's the final game of week 3 here in the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League Batter Bowl. Hank the Ranger says, I too. We just had a game between the Wang Hangers and It's All Ball Bearings. The Wang Hangers came out on top. They are currently undefeated, sitting in first place with 9 points. It's All Ball Bearings sticking around in 4th place. Tonight, we have a live matchup between Vector Victor and News Team 6. If either team wins, they will bounce up to 5th or 6th place, depending on how much they win by. 4th place is 4 points. I stand corrected. If either team wins, they're going to bounce up into 4th place, and they're going to be there all by their lonesome. They could even try to overtake 3rd place. Not very likely with that TD diff of 5, however. Let's take a look at these matchups. First up is Hoggle's News Team number 6, live on the scene. He's got 850 TV. This is a full 200 TV lower than his opponents tonight. That means if you're new to Blood Bowl, team value is basically, well, it's literally your team's value in gold divided by 1,000. So a team value of 1,000 means your team is worth 1 million in gold. He is coming in at 200 shy, which means when you are of a lower team value, you get the difference in petty cash that you get to spend on inducements. You can buy various inducements, extra team training, Bloodweiser babes, chefs, star players, and coming in at 200 TV lower means he gets 200,000 gold to spend. Now, he's 1 man shy. He only has a 10-man line right now, or a 10-man lineup, which means he has to field 11. And to field 11, you'll have to hire someone else. He can hire a journeyman, which will be a standard lineman with the loner skill. That would be the cheapest option. But he could go all the way up to a star player if he wants. That would be the most expensive. We'll see what he picks. If he wants to go with a journeyman, he's got enough he's got enough money left over in petty cash, plus in his treasury, to pull out a wizard. Could we see the first wizard of this competition tonight? I hope we do, but we'll see what happens. 10-man line, as we mentioned, 2 Bull Centaurs, the mighty Bull Centaurs, with a very good MA of 6 and a very good strength of 4. That MA of 6 is backed up with these 2 skills here, Sprint and Sure Feet. Sprint lets this Bull Centaur GFI 3 times instead of 2 on a turn, and Sure Feet lets him re-roll those GFIs. This gives him an effective movement range of 9 spaces per turn. very mobile, and with a strength of 4, that means on average 3 players are going to have to go base to base with this Bull Centaur if they want to get a 2-die block going. 1 Goblin Looney, we saw that in the last matchup. This is a secret weapon. He has Chainsaw, but he's only, being a secret weapon, he's only going to be on the pitch for a single drive. We'll see when Hoggles decides to put him out on the pitch. If he doesn't take 2 additional players in the inducement phase, he'll have to send him out on the pitch in the first drive, which means he's going to be out a player for the rest of the game. So he'll need to consider that with his inducement phase. 2 Skaven Gutter Runners. We saw 1 used for good effect in the last game by the Wang Hangers. There's now 2 on the pitch. An MA of 9, an AG of 4, and the dodge skill. These are some of the best players in Blood Bowl, in my opinion. Super fast. If they get away from you, there's no stopping them. And with an AG of 4, they can catch, they can pick up, they can throw, they can do it all. Lots of block on this lineup. 5 men with block. It's important to note that Hoggles is going to get back these 2 players. They don't have any permanent... I'm sorry. This Chaos Dwarf blocker has a permanent injury with an AG of 1. The Storm Vermin he's going to get back next game. Now, typically when you lose a stat on an injury, you want to sack that player. He's counting against your TV, and he's usually just not worth the TV anymore. You don't... When you have an injured player, he doesn't actually become worth less when it comes to calculating your TV, but he's most certainly worth less in terms of ability and agency on your team. But in this case, when you already have a low AG of 2, it might not be bad to keep him. If you're just going from an AG of 2 to AG of 1, you're not doing anything AG related with him anyway, maybe keep him on your roster. Maybe it's not bad. 3 players with tackle. There's not a lot of dodge on the pitch tonight, so I doubt that'll come into play. He's going to be up tonight against War Horseman and Vector Victor. Their slogan, known for all time as, of course, to be determined. They have an 11-man roster tonight, a full lineup. They are bringing some Chaos Dwarf blockers themselves. They've got 2 Brett Blitzers. I love the Brett Blitzers. Very, very fast with an MA of 7, decent stat line. Otherwise, they have block being Blitzers. They have Dauntless, but they also have catch. This makes them very versatile. They're very good Blitzers. They're very good receivers. And they can play both offense and defense very effectively. They're very hard to pin down tactically. It's very hard to know how a blitzer is going to be used because a coach can switch from pure defense to pure offense almost instantly with these players. Another Bull Centaur coming on the pitch. This time he's leveled up and he's got sure hands. I find this to be such an intriguing pick. He's got doubles. He picked up sure hands. He only has an agility of 2. But you know what? If you can get the ball into the hands of a Bull Centaur, there aren't a lot of players that are going to get it out of his hands. So I think this is a really interesting pick, and I'd love to see it used to full effect here tonight. 1 Vampire, we saw them at work in the matchup earlier this evening. Only 2 Vampire Thralls to keep this Vampire mobile. I think Hoggles really wants to target these Thralls with their AV of 7. If he can take out the Thralls, then this Vampire becomes a problem. If there are no Thralls on the pitch, the Vampire basically becomes like a big guy when you're determining your actions. In other words, now you really have to consider, do I actually want to activate the Vampire or not, right? Do I just want to leave him there because I'm afraid if I fail my Bloodlust roll, he's going off the pitch. A High Elf Catcher and a High Elf Thrower rounds out this lineup. 2 very good Elven positionals with an AG of 4. The Catcher with an MA of 8. He has Diving Catch and Catch. Diving Catch is a great skill. This gives him a +1 on his catch. Not only does it give him a +1 on his catch, he can catch a ball. It gives him a +1 on an accurate throw, rather. But catching an accurate throw, that is. But he gets to catch a ball that ends up in any space adjacent to him. That's really good. What a great skill that is. And then the Elven Thrower, pretty decent, pretty standard thrower. He's got pass and he has safe throw. Oh boy, lots of block here at the top of the lineup, not so much at the bottom. I think News Team 6 wants to target these AV7 players, try to get a player advantage. If he can do that, he can effectively take the Vampire out, especially with good positioning. I think for Vector Victor, these Brett Blitzers are key players. They can leverage Dauntless to go after some of the stronger players. They can decide to blitz with a blitzer and then break him downfield to be an instant receiver. The Vampire, fantastic player, so long as those thralls are positioned in such a way to allow the Vampire to move the way he wants to. And then, of course, these Bull Centaurs. I've never seen so many Bull Centaurs on a pitch before. I really have no idea which way this game's going to go. I think they're two very interesting lineups. I'm excited to see what the coaches decide. One TRR, one cheerleader, one fan factor for Victor Victor. And Vector Victor is going to be looking at just one fan factor from News Team 6. News Team 6, strong lineup, but no TRRs. I will be surprised if we don't see some of that petty cash going into extra team training tonight. Whichever team wins tonight, if in fact a team wins, they will catapult themselves into 4th place with the very, very remote chance of 3rd place, but it's probably not happening. So we'll see if both coaches are ready to go here, and we'll get started. It looks like we're underway. Just in time for the kickoff. Pitch invasion. Some randomly selected players are stunned. Holy moly! What did I walk into? What is happening? What? Fans invaded the pitch? Oh, Vector Victor with 6 players stunned. News Team 6 with just 1. Wow. News Team 6 also with a +2 fame advantage. Vector Victor with 1 TRR. They need to play super defense here for at least a turn, but News Team 6 is going to have their run of the pitch here. 2-die block's going to be a dodge push against the number 12 gutter runner on the right-hand side of the line. News Team 6 with a 7-man line versus the 3-man line from Vector Victor. 2 ends, and now News Team 6, lots of choices to make. They can leave some players behind. They can get behind this offensive line if they want. They can foul. They can... Man, they could do it all. They can just pounce on this ball carrier. What an unfortunate kickoff event for News Team 6. Even though they've got the +2 fame, the die rolls didn't work out there. Cliffy says at least it wasn't a stun, not being pulled out by heat for the drive. Yeah, that's true. Hoggles has traditionally been a very good defensive coach. He considers his turns. He typically spends half his 2-minute time limit considering what tactics he wants to employ for the turn. And he does not get pulled in by gambits. He doesn't get tricked. He doesn't get fooled. He likes to keep his team cohesion together. If he feels he needs a safety, he will keep that safety in position. Very tough to crack a Hoggles defensive line here, defensive formation. But we'll see if all that changes here, if he wants to take advantage of these stuns. I think he does. And yeah, we'll send our descending on this faux cage. He's now tying up both the vampire and the catcher. There's a 2-die block coming back on this bull centaur right now, unless somebody comes to take out the catcher as an assist. Hank the Ranger says, I hope News Team 6 can give us an update on the weather while there are so many opposing players down. You know what? I'm disappointed that they're not reporting on the news, frankly. 3 seconds left. Wow, and you can see he does not want to give up that line. Here comes a blitz. Blitz on the vampire. What? All right, well, uphill blitz on the vampire results in, there was a push result. He decided to spend it. Spend the TRR, gets a push. And now he gets a tackle zone on the thrower. And here comes a foul. Lots of final second actions. Gets pulled off, gets called off for the foul, unfortunately, and only got a stun out of it. So now it's 11v10 in Vector Victor's favor. Vector Victor staring at a whole lot of News Team 6. You can see Hoggles decided, this is what we were talking about right at the beginning of the match. He really likes to keep his defensive team cohesion together, and it's worked out very well for him. Vector Victor now pulling hard to the left. Looks like he's wanting to cage up here at center pitch. Good dodge by the Elven thrower. Still needs to fill out the backside of this cage, though. Probably looking at a dodge with the vampire, perhaps? But there's no thralls around. Makes it a risky dodge. .48 seconds to play in turn 2 for Vector Victor. There's the dodge with the vampire. Passed his bloodlust roll, succeeded in the dodge. Are we going to see a dodge with the catcher? This is much less risky. There it is, and the cage is now filled out. And that'll be the end of turn 2 for Vector Victor. Back to News Team 6. Good recovery by Vector Victor after that kickoff event. Hoggles needs to be careful that his team doesn't get left behind, but again, he's very good at keeping his team together on defense. But in this situation, he might want to take advantage of this. He might want to get aggressive on this cage. He's got the speed to keep up with it, and it looks like he's going to do just that. Marking the back left vampire. He might not have been aware that the vampire was a strength 4 in turn 1. But now if he wants to blitz with the bull centaur, he'll get a 2-die block out of it. Secret weapon only had a single turn this game. Here's that blitz. 2-die blitz. He's going to get a push. He's going to push him out of the cage, and he's going to follow up. This follow-up will cause a dodge, but I don't think this thrower minds. He has an AG of 4, and he has the... Well, he doesn't have the dodge skill. But he has an AG of 4, so he probably still doesn't mind so much. Good dodge by the gutter runner. And now that thrower's minding a little bit more. Still has a positive dodge this direction. One die block on the line. It's going to be a push. That Chaos Dwarf blocker gets pushed back toward the cage. Could see a 2-die block on this blocker. Nope, that'll be it. If I were a betting man, I'd bet that the cage is going to end up right about here. The center stands up. The number 3 Chaos Dwarf blocker. Bad rack metal spine. Thrall moves forward. Yes, indeed. It looks like the cage is going to end up right here. Oh no! The cage is going to end up right here. Is he going to dodge with the thrower? Or is he going to set up the back corner of the cage? Got a 2-die block, 2-die block against this gutter runner. It's got a... Well, he doesn't have a block here. Oh no, he does. He has a 2-die block with the vampire against this gutter runner as well, if he wants it. Wow, interesting choice with the thrall. Moves the thrall back here, so he sets up some tackle zones. He wants to prevent this contingent from getting at his cage. Good dodge. Whoa! So the cage isn't here or here. The cage is right here. Wow. Is he going to take these blocks then? Nope. Doesn't take the block with the vampire. Wow. Sets up the cage a couple spaces behind center pitch. Will he take the block with the blitzer? Clotaire the Old gets a 2-die block on this gutter runner. Lidl, he's a reporter. The reporter down on the street. 2-die block, 2-die blitz in the right wide zone. This is a Storm Vermin. He has an AV of 8. He stays alive. One die YOLO block on the line. Both players skilled with the block skill. Gets a push. He's going to advance forward. I wonder if he sees this block here on the gutter runner. Takes another 1-die block on the line. This time it's going to work out. Terrifying Bretonnian blitzers. Wow, this time the 1-die blocks aren't going to work out. It looks like he missed this block here. It's easy to do, especially when you're new to the game. Turn 3 for News Team 6. They've got players in front of the cage. They've got players behind the cage. They can go after this ball carrier. Because this gutter runner was left standing, they could end up taking a block on the Brett Blitzer and then a blitz on the ball carrier. Let's see if he wants to do it. He'll have to dedicate 2 players to this block. Since he has a strength of 2, he needs 2 assists to make that a 2-die block. And then he can blitz with the Bull Centaur and try to murder this thrower. Man, if that ball fell into the hands of this Bull Centaur, that would be pretty amazing. This isn't the one with sure hands, though. This guy over here is the one with it. What's his name? Marnax Smoky Bull. 47 seconds to play in turn 3. Hoggle's weighing up his options. Looks like he's going to tie up the number 11 Thrall instead. He can still take a blitz. Takes the one die blitz against the thrower, spends the reroll, and that works out due to the block skill. I can't imagine he's going to dodge out toward that ball. So decided to take a one die block with the Chaos Dwarf blocker instead. Dodges out the gutter runner, doesn't take the block on the Brett Blitzer. Error in play, didn't see the tackle skill. I said it wouldn't come into play. It did. Tackle negates the dodge skill. And so that was a failed dodge. Now, turn 4, back to Vector Victor. I miss the tackle skill all the time. Hank the Ranger says, there's that tackle. Yes, indeed. Vector Victor with a fortunate scatter here. The ball's in very good position for them to continue this drive as if nothing happened. They do a stand-up with 2 players, but that means they're not going anywhere. He can take the block on the Chaos Dwarf blocker with the Brett Blitzer. Can't get a cage where the ball is right now. Picks up the ball with the Vampire. Vampire is a very good player. Very good stat line, 6.448. He has Hypnotic Gaze. We haven't seen Hypnotic Gaze used too much in this competition, at least not to good effect. Hypnotic Gaze will put your opponent in a trance. They'll lose their tackle zones, and then they can't pass or catch or receive or assist on blocks. They're hypnotized until their next turn. Now, because you do it on your turn, and then they can take their next turn, you'll often new players will be like, "What's the value of that?" It's twofold. If they lose their tackle zones, you can use it offensively, but otherwise, if they're losing their assist, if they can't intercept, if they can't catch, if they can't pass, if they're in position to do that, they've got to take their turn first, so they won't be in position to do that. Good block by the Brett Blitzer. Oh, gets a good stun out of it. Well done. Crenshaw, the sports reporter, now will not know what's going on in this game. The sports reporter's knocked out. One die block. Lots of YOLO one die blocks. This one's not going to work out. Vector Victor does not spend the TRR on this. He's going to save it. News Team 6. Final turn of the first quarter. Team cohesion's still fairly good. Only has a couple of guys I would consider out of position. This gutter runner out of position, I would say that's not too bad if it weren't for the tackle skill. 2 players with tackle right next to him. Goblin Loner, so this is the journeyman he took onto the pitch. Yeah, so he's gonna pull the gutter runner back to play some defense. Took a stab at putting some pressure on the cage. He said, I'm good. I've got plenty of speed. I'll get right back in front of you. Blitz on the front left corner of the cage is going to be a push result. It's going to push him out of the cage. He's going to set up here for another block. I think it's a one die block. I don't know if he wants to take it or not. Nope, it's a 2 die block. Well done. Ah yes, it's a 2 die block because the Storm Vermin is tying up the number 1 Chaos Dwarf blocker. Good call by Hoggles. 49 seconds to play in the first quarter. One die block. He's going to take another block, gets a push. Yeah, he's going to follow up. He gets a tackle zone on the ball carrier. That's it. Second quarter begins here for Vector Victor. They have one TRR on the table. They're going to stand up the Brett Blitzer in the left wide zone. Vector Victor currently has a one-man player advantage, I think. Yeah, it's 11v10 right now on the pitch. Looks like they might be thinking about shifting this cage one space over. I might be thinking about trying to open up a hole first. They've got lots of blocks they can take. There's that failed bloodlust roll, and now the vampire in danger of losing this ball. He's going to have to end his movement next to a thrall. Good dodge, and it worked out. He's going to have to feed on the back right corner of this cage. Looks like War Horseman might be getting tricked by the UI here. Wait, why was that? What did I miss? Why did he not feed? Oh, he re-rolled the Bloodlust. I see. So he spent his last TRR on the Bloodlust roll. That means he doesn't have to feed on the Thrall. No TRRs left for the first half. Vector Victor's gonna have just 3 turns to get this ball down pitch. Two-die block by the Bull Centaur is going to be a push against the number 5 Bull Centaur over in the right wide zone. He'll push and he'll stay put, I have to imagine. Yes, indeed. Just 9 seconds left. 4 players have performed no actions. No blitz has been performed. And that's going to be it. Turn 5, back to News Team 6. News Team 6 now finding them in a position to take some blocks. "30 seconds have gone by. Two-die block in the left wide zone against the Brett Blitzer will be a clean hit." Wow, that sounded awful. Clive says a quarter with no TRRs. This should be interesting. Indeed, action order is paramount at this point. Hoggle's considering what blocks he wants to take and what players he wants to get back in front of this cage. And yes, indeed, you can see Limus, the executive producer, gets in front of the number 9 Bull Centaur. That Bull Centaur gets a 2-die block coming back. Push on the number 16 thrower toward the sideline, but no follow-up. SPB praise to Nuffle. Thank you very much. One die block at the cage. This is going to be a push result. Is he going to follow up and get in on this cage? He does. Another one die block. This is going to be a both standing result. Both players have the blitz skill. If you roll an attacker or both down result on a die roll and have the block skill, you don't actually go down. Another one die block. This time he gets number 3 Chaos Dwarf blocker, and he'll follow up. Wow, and he gets an injury. Well done. No long-term effect, but that player is out of the game. It's now 10v10 on the pitch. SB Beaver says the prayer worked. Yes, indeed it did. Lots of tackle zones on this ball carrier. The Vampire with nary a place to go. Clypheus prays to Nuffle. Thank you very much. Hank the Ranger says Goblin Blitz. Didn't seem that way. Lots of prayers to Nuffle. Look at this. Good luck, good luck, Vector Victor. No TRRs, deciding what he wants to do. What blocks to take, where to move. You can see Hoggles in News Team 6, he's acutely aware of this cage moving to the right wide zone. If he does that on defense, this team is not slow, but not particularly fast. If he eliminates his movement options by being on one side of the pitch, then on defense, you can decide to go too deep and basically get double the defense because you're not defending as much of the pitch. You don't have to spread as thin. 2-die block's going to be a push result against Storm Vermin. Trying to open up some breathing room here. Just 35 seconds to play in turn 6 for Vector Victor. Desperately looking for an avenue, looking for something. He's going to take the YOLO 1-die block. His drive stays alive due to the both standing result. Attacker down, both players have the block skill. They are both going to stay standing. Or not attacker down, both down. Oh, had to try a dodge at some point. Failed, and that is a bad, bad stun. And now News Team 6 has a very real shot. They're going to go after this ball here. We'll see what he wants to do first. Remember, no TRRs, so his action order is critical. Vampire has a strength of 4. He needs to get an assist, at least one assist. No better time to go after this Thrall. This Thrall has an AV of 7. If you can take him off the pitch, all the Thralls are gone and the Vampire is on borrowed time. 1-die block to start this. Wow! Wow! Good KO. SP Beaver demanded death. Vampire's off the pitch, and now his Thrall's gonna go with him. No, he's gonna be pushed. He'll be pushed here. Oh, no. Ah, if News Team 6 would have pushed here, he would have got another block. It's a 1-die block because of the strength 2, but another block nonetheless. Wow, 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 wow. So the blitz is spent. The ball carrier is not going to get knocked down. But the ball carrier is not in great position. 2-die block back at the line. Another both standing result. Man, oh man. I'd like to see a gutter runner get over here. Maybe both. Did Freddie just subscribe? Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. All right, there's one gutter runner. Yes, indeed. Well done. He could move him up here if he wants. He's gonna eat some. He'll eat a block, but that also prevents someone from moving. Wow, great stun. Oh, Clypheus gifted this up. Thank you so much, Clypheus. I really appreciate that. Thank you both. Yeah, I'll have to update that to show the gift. Thank you very, very much. Both gutter runners now on the right-hand side of that ball carrier. Push on the left. 2-die block with the Bull Centaur. Good block. Turn 7 now for Victor. Only 2 turns left to try to make something happen. Someone has to be in scoring position at the end of this turn. It's an uphill battle. Cleffy says you're welcome. Happy to have you aboard the Ava train. I'm happy too. 2-die block at the front of the cage. It's going to be a clean hit. Doesn't get a whole lot out of it though. War Horseman. What can he do here? He could dodge out the Brett Blitzer. I think he has to do that and get him down pitch. And then dodge the Thrall, I guess? Dodge the Thrall out here, maybe to a handoff to a throw? I'm not sure. Thrall's going to tie up the Bull Centaur. That's a 1-die block on the Bull Centaur right now, but I think the Brett Blitzer has to get down pitch. unless he wants to catch with this Bull Centaur. Bull Centaur could blitz, but then he has to dodge. Oh no, he could blitz. It's a 1-die blitz, but he'd get the free follow-up if it's a knockdown. The thrower has been stunned. He is effectively out for the half. News Team 6 with 2 turns left. They have a very real shot at scoring here. These Storm Vermin are in scoring position right now. Remember, they have an MA of 9. I have to imagine you're going after the ball carrier. 3-die blitz. That's going to be a clean hit on this Thrall. They'll push him forward to max. Good injury. To maximize the number of gutter runners that could pick up the scatter. Number 11 can go after this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't even think he has to GFI. I think he can cover the gutter runner. Yeah, and he's going to move players into coverage. This is what we were talking about with turn order. Moving the players that don't have to roll dice is obviously safer. So Hoggles is going to move the number 3 Kastorf blocker into a defensive position before he goes to pick up this ball. Who was on offense this half? Was it News Team 6? No, it was Vector Victor. Good pickup. I don't think he needs to risk it. I think he can just... Yeah, I think he can just hang out. Well done. Good play. The other gutter runner can go into protective coverage as well. So can the Goblin. And I think we can call this a score. SP Beaver wants a GFI. Clavius lowered the GFI failure rate from 900... I was going to say 1,000. 900... It's not 9,000. That's absurd. 900% to 99%. Goblin moves in to protect this ball carrier. Nobody can get at this ball carrier at this point. "17 seconds to play." It's all about taking hits right now. And he's going to take a hit on this Bull Centaur with sure hands. He says, "How dare you try to be a ball carrier? Are you nuts?" Doesn't get much out of it. He can move the Kastorf blocker. Sure, why not? And that'll be it. Turn 8 for Vector Victor. I think they just want to take a block. And call it a turn. Maybe move some players out of harm's way. I can't imagine News Team 6 is even gonna dare try to take a block. SB Viewer says, "I enjoy how the Centaur is still taller than those around him when he is down." Looks like the block's going to be taken against the Storm Vermin. He has an AV of 8. Doesn't have a whole lot of better options, I think. So this is going to be the smart bet. Only going to get the 1 assist. 1 assist minus 1 is going to cancel each other out. Oh, just stood up the Bull Centaur. Alright. That's cool. Blitz with the Brett Blitzer is going to be a clean hit. Trying to take the Storm Vermin off the pitch. Doesn't work out. I think that... Does he have a 2-die block here? He does have a 2-die block. He's got another block to take against the Blitzer. This will be a clean hit as well. AV of 9. Nothing happens. He can take the 1-die block if he wants to. It is a skilled block. I might take it. You have the blitz. You have the block skill. Your opponent doesn't. Why not? Yes, indeed. 1-die block. He'll get a push out of it. He'll push here. He'll follow up. He'll get another block out of this. Good play. This time he's losing the block skill. And he's going to get knocked down. AV of 7. AV of 7. That's what happens. First quarter is going to end 1-0 for News Team 6. Oh no, is he thinking about blocking? Oh good. It's getting nervous. 1-0. Well done by Hoggles and News Team 6. That's going to close out the first half. I think News Team 6 is also going to be on offense here going into the second half. So they have the momentum. They might even have player advantage. We'll see what happens with the KO'd players. SP Beaver says another rat scores. 1 player for Vector Victor comes back onto the pitch. I think that makes it 11v10. I'm not sure. Oh, that does not make it 11v10 at all. That's 8v11, is it? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8v10. 10v8 squarely in Hoggle's favor. He's going to have the ball here. He really just has to protect the ball. I think he can do it, too. He has a two-man player advantage. He's got enough strength to really have a cage that's going to be really tough to crack. And if on top of that, he can move the ball down pitch, that's just more security. I don't think there's a kicker on either side. Look at this wide screening line by Vector Victor. Three-man line, two on either wide zone, all at the center line. And now News Team 6 is going to set up their offense. We'll see if they want to try blocking down this line or not. With the line spread out like this, with a gap between each of the three linemen here, if News Team 6 wanted to, they could fill those gaps and get two die blocks all the way down the line. Gutter runners almost certainly going to be back to receive. Might see the Bull Centaurs pulling cage duty here. News Team 6 back up to 2 TRRs. That's the 2 extra team training he took in the inducement phase. 4 Horsemen back up to 1. And remember that News Team 6 has +2 fame going into this game. Bull Centaurs moving up to the line in the wide zones, and that's going to do it. Here's the kickoff from the Elven thrower? Yeah, the thrower. Cheering fans. Both teams get an extra team reroll. They both need it. And that's a touchback. Ball's going to go into the hands of a, maybe even a Bull Centaur at this point. We'll see. Nope, ball's going to go into the hands of a gutter runner. And the second half's going to get underway. 3 TRRs now for News Team 6. Claffy says that's a big help to both, so not sure who that helps more. Yeah, both teams could desperately use that. SP Beaver says he sees a prime surfing opportunity. Little known fact, SP Beaver, a surfing champion back in the 1970s. Cage right at center pitch. Precarious. Very interesting place to set up this cage. 2 die blitz with the Bull Centaur is going to be a push. Follows up with the Bull Centaur, so he's not going to get the assist on another block with the Bull Centaur. Skaven Gutter Runner moves forward. Storm Vermin pulls in towards the cage. Pulls in towards the cage as well. Takes a 1 die block on the line against the Brett Blitzer. This one will work out. Ooh, man, risky plays. Is he going to take another 1 die block? He can, well, he doesn't want to expose his cage, I guess. I would just call it at this point, frankly. I'd call this a turn. And that's exactly what he does. Turn 9. Back to Vector Victor. Vector Victor can't just screen out this team. I think... I mean, he's got to go after this ball, but it's going to be an uphill battle every single turn. I don't think there's any way that Vector Victor... Well, I shouldn't say that. There's always a way. But it's not looking good for a Vector Victor win. He could still pull out a tie, though. It's gonna be really hard to get through this cage. SP Beaver says, we used to block uphill both ways in the snow. There's always a chance for an uphill block. All things are possible through Nuffle. Claffiest praise to Nuffle. Here's the block. Didn't get much out of it, but a down bull centaur is pretty good. It cuts his MA in half. Thrower takes position on the front of the cage. .49 seconds to play in turn number 9 in this final game of week 3. Vector Victor's bull centaur pulls onto this cage. Lots of players on the front of this cage right now. Vector Victor does need to be careful of this gutter runner. This gutter runner could just scoot behind this line. Huggles has 3 TRRs. He's got a player with an MA of 4 with the ball in hand. Gutter runners with an MA of 9, they can get behind the line. They have an AG of 4 to catch. So long as it's not too far of a catch, it shouldn't be much of a problem. We'll see if he sets up for that on this turn. Good block on the front right corner of the cage. Does he follow up? He does. Not sure the gutter runner cares too much, but we'll see. Vector Victor cuts off the bull centaur. Well done. Turn 10 back to news team 6. They've got a positive dodge out this way. They could just reset this cage, but they're going to go for the blitz on that Chaos Dwarf blocker. They're going to reset their cage right where it is. They're going to get a push. They'll push them right back out. I would love to see number 11 make a break for it. He does have to be careful of this a vampire blitz, however. I mean, even if both the gutter runner and the goblin make a break for it, I think that would be pretty good. One minute to go in the turn. The patented Hoggles consideration. Planning out his turn in his head. The math equations are just... They're appearing out of thin air. .30 seconds to play. Blitz is off the table. TRRs. There goes the gutter runner. There he is. Will the goblin follow? .15 seconds to go. Oh man, what's happening? 9 seconds. One die block on the right hand side. This is gonna work out. Gets a KO. Well done. That was on the thrower. Victor's thrower has been KO'd. 10v7 now. Factor of players. He can take a 1-die vampire blitz against this gutter runner if he wants to. No, he could 2-die blitz, I think. No. Well, he could make it a 2-die blitz. He'd have to get someone over here. Block with the bull centaur with 2 dice. And then he could... That could make it a 2-die blitz with the vampire on the ball carrier. There's the pull for the assist. 2-die block with the bull centaur. Coming. .55 seconds. So the bull centaur has a strength. He'd be up against a chaos dwarf with a strength of 3. There it is. The 2-die block, clean hit. They'll push him here and stay. I have to imagine. Did he follow up? Oh, he followed up. So now this is these will negate. So I think this is still fine. The vampire can side blitz on the gutter runner. No. He's gonna blitz with the Brett. All right, fair enough. It's gonna be a dodge push. He'll follow up. Oh man, are all the thralls gone? All the thralls are gone, man. It's just risking his life at this point. I don't know if I'd want to move him. Not now. Oh, jeez Louise. Vampire's going to stay in the game. He's going to tie up the ball carrier. He's going to tie up the goblin. Vampire just laterally to the ball carrier. Turn 11 for News Team 6, finding themselves under pressure. I think this is an easy dodge for the gutter runner. They're going to take a 2-die block first with the bull centaur. I think it's an easy dodge for the gutter runner. Dump off the ball to number 11 to score. Might want to get this blitzer into position first, just in case it doesn't work out. Gonna blitz first. Gonna take a clean hit against the vampire. No dodge required. Goblin can move downfield, as does the blitzer. And there he goes, the journeyman goblin. Go for the handoff, go for the pass. Go for the nothing. He's got 3 teams. I'd do it. But if he's confident that he can keep the ball secure, not a problem. Two-die block on the right-hand side of the line. This is going to be a good hit. Could have set up a 2-die block here, but decides to get the Storm Vermin into position to help defend against the ball carrier, and he's going to take a 1-die block instead, and it's going to work out. Well done. Wow, that catcher got... He was not happy. That hurt a little bit. Turn 11, back to Victor. I think it's time for some uphill blocking, I think. He can get a... He'd have to dodge to get in there, but he can do a 1-die block with the vampire against the ball carrier right now. Well, he stood up the vampire, so now the vampire's done. 1 minute, 7 seconds left to play in turn number 11. $50 seconds. No movement by Vector Victor. $27 seconds left. Finally some move. Wow, good dodge by the Brett. Moves him off to the sideline. He is in drift. Just 9 seconds left. Failed the dodge with the Bull Centaur. Bull Centaur with an AG of 2. What else are you going to do? He's going to spend the TRR. 75% dodge fails. And he gets stunned for his... Turn is team 6. They are in great shape right now. They have player advantage. There for Brett Blitzer. And then they can just walk into the end zone. Here it comes. 2-die versus the Surf. Well done. I don't know if he wants to risk anything else. I think he just scores. Oh. Still a GFI, he's 10 spaces away. I think he just goes here. And then he can score on turn 13. Oh, yeah. He's gonna have to barrier. Unless he takes down this catcher, has an opportunity to get at him if he ends right before the end zone. Cage moves further down pitch here in turn 12. Vampire is now out of play. This is going to be a push. Brett Blitzer gets moved 1 space further towards the cage. I would have pushed him right here. Could have got a second block on him as well with the number 1 Kastorf blocker. Another 2-die block to take here against the number 2 Kastorf blocker. Good hit. He'll follow up and he'll get another 2-die block against the catcher. Good clean hit against number 15 catcher. And that's a stun. One die block on the right-hand side. TRR gets spent. It's going to result in a push. And those two will continue their boxing match. Might be it. He probably wants to move the Chaos Dwarf Blocker forward. Oh, wow. Dodges the Chaos Dwarf Blocker with an AG of 2. Successfully to get in front of the Vampire. Vampire couldn't get at the Chaos, but now he really can't. Turn 12 now for Vector. Hope is running out for Vector Vic. A lot of players left on the pitch, and they only have 6. The cage is well beyond them at this point. They're going to have to spend a turn dodging to get closer, but still not close enough. Final turn of the third quarter. If Vector Victor way to win, he's just gonna have to dodge. Nope. I don't think there's any way if he wants to, he's gonna have to dodge, dodge again, a -3 dodge, and then take an uphill block against the gutter runner. It's gonna take a block on the boxing match over in the right wide zone. 30 seconds to play in the third quarter. 2 die block with the Vampire. Clean hit against Chaos Dwarf Blocker. Follows up. Gets one measly space closer. 19 seconds. Just one player left. The Bretonnian Blitzer. Cold. He tries to get over the cage. He's gonna spin the tier. Only would have passed on a 6. Didn't work. Good effort though. Turn 13 for News Team 6. They might just want to call it a score here. They don't have to, but now they got a player that can get at the cage. No matter how unlikely. Here, he basically puts the game away. And that's what he's gonna do. 2-0, News Team 6 is gonna move up and increase their lead. If the game were to end right now, News Team 6 would move ahead into 4th place. They're going to increase their TD differential from a -1 to a +1. They would be 2 behind, 2 TDs behind the Horsemen, who are currently in 2nd place. They'd be 1 point behind and 2 TDs behind. The Horsemen plus TD differential out of the top 3, or out of the top 4 right now with a +3. News Team 6 would displace its all ball bearings and move into their slot with +1. News Team 6 in defense here. Vector Victor hoping for a riot, hoping for something. Five-man line for News Team 6. They put the poor gutter on the line. He's about to level up, but he might die before he gets the opportunity. As it stands, that gutter runner is going to eat a 2-die block. Vampire gets pulled off the center position. The Blitzer moves to take his... Currently, Vector Victor is strong to the right. He's got too many players in the way too many players. You can have a max of 2 players in either wide zone, and you must have 3 players on the line. "35 seconds left to set up." One Brett Blitzer gets pulled off the right wide zone. Chaosdorf blocker gets pulled into the left wide. Frees up the number 3 Chaosdorf blocker for News Team 6. Wow. Interesting choice of line. He's put himself between the line of the opponent. I'm not sure what the plan is, but we'll see. Man, lots of thrown rocks this week. Oh no! Oh no! It's the kickoff return player. Well, he doesn't have the kickoff return, but the thrower was set to catch this ball, and now he do that. So Victor, once 3-0, he's going to have to pull somebody off the line to try to defend this ball. Bull Centaur is going to come trampling down the line after GFI. That's how it... Here comes the Bull Centaur. It's not the one with sure hands. That's on Vector Victor's team. He's going to blitz. He's got 3 turns. Bull Centaur is going to blitz the come after this ball. This stunned player is out for a turn, which is super unfortunate. Free runner. Yeah, the Goblin's going to come down to help the gutter runner. News Team 6 with plenty of reroll. They can grab this ball right now. Looks like they're going to do just that. They're going to fail the GFI. Are they going to spin the TRR? They do. Good pickup. Thrower can't get there. This gutter runner is free and... Let's see, can he get there? Push on the Brett Blitzer. He'll have to take another block. Well, will he? One gets the knockdown. It's not going to matter. And he's injured too. Wow. News Team is just marauding this team. Look at all these injuries. Don't think there's anything Vector Victor can do at this point. News Team 6 is going to go up 3-0. One die block of the line's not going to work out. But that is fine. Lots of one die blocks, and I typically shy away from them. Thrower's going to stand up, probably move because... Or maybe he wants to defend the thrower and just moves him in this direction instead. One minute, 20 seconds left to play in turn number 4. Clyfia says, can't even get there on GFIs. Ouch. Yes, indeed. The gutter runner's perfectly safe. There's nothing Vector Victor can do to score. He moves the thrower up to get tied up. And fails the GFI. He doesn't have the TRR to spend. It's going to be turn 15. Back to news team 6. Blood Bowl's only news source. 3-0. News team 6 increases their lead. Three injured, man. Oh, they don't even get back. They're knocked out. Seven on the pitch in News Team 6's favor. Vector Victor is going to get 2 chances here to try to make something, anything happen. Clive Rat's getting a lot of SPP. Was it the same rat each time? Here's the kickoff. Perfect defense. News Team 6 can be set up again on another legal defense. We'll see if he does. Both gutter runners leveling up in the game. Both are on the line. Man, I would have just... They've done their job. I would have just set them up back here. It looks like he's going to do just that. He's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm taking the gutter runners off the line. Good call. Wow, and what a good kick. Oh, that's salt in the wound. I'm really not sure there's anything Vector Victor can do. Even if they get a player in scoring position, I think it would be too throw. Whoops. Too far to throw. Let's see. Looks like that's it. Yeah, there's no way he's going to... 3, 4, 3. He could throw to here, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He can do it with a vampire. With a catcher. Two-die block at the push. One minute to play in turn 15. Blitz coming up. Huh, it's not going to work out. I was looking to open up something. Turn 16. For News Team 6. Why not? Why not? For it. Take the 2-die blitz on the thrower. Why not? Punish him for his insolence for picking up the ball. He's gonna test against the thrower. Gotta get a push out of it. Spend the TRR, why not? Well, I mean, you could lose your gutter runner, that's why not. But if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it. Both down results. It's gonna be a attacker down result, but man. Oh boy. Could have tried to dodge someone out for the assist. Went for it with the gutter runner. Went for the uphill block instead. You know what? If I were Vector Victor, I would foul him. pull this fella back and then foul the gutter runner. Can the Brett Blitzer get in on it too? He can. Nope, it's going to be a pass for some SPP. Good reception, well done. The thrower is going to gain himself 1 SPP. SPP, foul the rat. After the throw, now you can bring the catcher in for the foul. Why not? One minute to play in this game. Vector Victor looking for something to do. They're just gonna run. Rustin didn't get injured. And that'll be it. 3-0. News team gonna take this game. Congratulations. 10 armor breaks. Wow. News Team 6 dominating ball possession. Lots of yardage, lots of blocks, lots of KOs, lots of injuries. Whew. That was a clinic. Look at all that SPP. Oh my goodness. That's what, 20? 20 SPP for News Team 6? That's insane. 6 for Vector Victor. You know what? I don't even care what the diamonds look like. Oh man, that's a lot of SPP. Holy smokes. Well, that's gonna do it. That's gonna end week 3. If we look at the current they're not updated yet, but News Teams, that's a replay. That's not the standings. If we look at the standings, News Team 6 is gonna gain themselves 3 points. That's gonna bring them into 4th place. They're going to be right behind the Ardents of Nuffle. Ardents of Nuffle with a TD diff of +5. News Team 6 taking themselves from a -1 to a +2 in this game. Well done. Congratulations to Hoggles. GG's to both coaches. There's still plenty of Blood Bowl left. There's 3 more weeks of Swiss rounds. Remember, it's Swiss rounds, so next week, the Wang Hangers and the Horsemen are going to duke it out. The final 2 undefeated teams are going to go at it. I'm excited to watch that game. The week's going to start tomorrow. As the games get scheduled, we will post them here on Twitch, on Twitter, and on Facebook. You can see the commands for those right there on your screen. I hope you guys had a lot of fun tonight. I had a blast. Play Blood Bowl. If you don't own it yet, it's on humblebundle.com right now for $4. Check it out. But until next time, we'll see you guys here for week 4 in the Batter Bowl. Take care.
I'm not